We're gonna have a baby in March, and a lot of you have been asking me about budgeting for baby questions. Today, I'm just gonna go through a few of those, do an informal type Q&A, and my next video will be about the actual nuts and bolts and numbers once I write them out and share them in a video. But today I just want to go through some of the questions and answer them because I know a lot of you are either curious or you're also having a baby and wondering what we're doing. So I will not be doing the specific budgeting questions in this video, but everything else that I've gotten, I will be answering here, and then check out my next video coming soon, and it will share all of the details and the actual numbers. First question, are you going to take a maternity leave? And if so, how long? The answer is yes, I will be taking maternity leave, and I plan to take the full 12 weeks that I am allowed with FMLA. You can take up to 12 weeks unpaid, and your job still has to be there legally if you work somewhere, I think at least a year. I'm not an expert, so don't take that as fact. Check it out for yourself. But I do get 6 weeks paid maternity leave at the company I work for, so I will be taking 6 weeks paid. Then I do have PTO, so I'll be using at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of PTO to add to that 6 weeks of paid maternity leave. And then I will be taking off some unpaid time as well to get to that 12 weeks because I do not want to have a repeat of the last time I was on maternity leave. Last time I was on maternity leave, I went back at 8 weeks, and that was a mistake. I was not fully healed, and I was also struggling with being a first-time mom, and on top of that, having postpartum anxiety and depression that was undiagnosed at the time. So I went back to work too early. I ended up having basically a mental breakdown. I literally remember walking through the building I work in, having a hallucination and realizing, oh no, this isn't okay. I cried going to work every day and coming home every day. Leaving my baby at daycare was terrible. I just couldn't handle it. So we won't be repeating that. I'm taking more time, as much time as possible, and I'm going to just feel it out and see how it goes. If I do need to go back early or feel ready to go back early because I'm better taking care of myself this time and better prepared, I will do that. But at minimum, I'm taking 8 weeks and maximum 12 weeks. Okay, question number 2. Have you thought about how your budget is going to change after the baby with daycare for 2 children? Whew, yes, I have. And the issue with this is that there are so many options for daycare and childcare, and we just don't quite know yet what we're gonna do. So right now we pay $800 a month roughly for my daughter's preschool tuition, and I have found a daycare option for my future baby, but that is gonna be $100 a week, so it's gonna be $400 to $500 a month, which brings us up to basically having a second mortgage payment because our mortgage is $1,300, so we'll have a second mortgage payment just to pay for someone to watch our children. This is kind of the option that we're currently going with, but I have thought back and forth every day about different options, from quitting my job and trying to do YouTube and freelance work instead, and then watching my kids myself and not paying that $1,300. I thought about asking family to help more, even though they have jobs and responsibilities as well, but maybe they could take a few days so we cut back on the cost of the certain daycares. And then sometimes I think $100 a week daycare is probably not the best option, so maybe we should upgrade where we're gonna send our child and maybe pay more. And it's not forever, so having 2 in daycare isn't forever, so we could definitely swing it if we need to. We would definitely have to cut back on things like saving for retirement and all of that. I'll be honest, I literally changed my mind about what we're gonna do every single day, and I am 8 months pregnant now, so the fact that I still haven't fully decided, we do have a plan in place with preschool for my daughter and then a daycare signed up. We have a spot, but I still every day I'm like, maybe we should go with a different option. Maybe we should do it differently. And literally until 5 months from now, when that actually has to be something we pay for and deal with, I really don't know what we're actually gonna do. Another question I've gotten is, will you not be going back to work after baby is born? And as of right now, I will still be going back to work. I go back and forth on this a lot. A lot of the reason why I want to stay employed is because we do want to buy a new house in the next year or two. And that would be so much easier while I'm employed. However, with the other side of that coin, I would love more time with my daughter and my next baby. I would love to not have as much stress with doing full-time work and trying to do YouTube and all these other things on the side. It's a lot. And the fact that I've been able to basically match my day job income roughly a little bit under with YouTube, means that it's possible I could combine something like YouTube and freelance work, which I've done in the past, and make as much money, but with way more flexibility and way less stress. So there is that side of the equation. I've thought about it so much, and I go back and forth on it a lot, obviously, and it really is coming down to contentment. And are we content to be where we are for a while, where I step back and maybe don't earn $10,000 a month, I earn half that or even less, but I still can cover our bills, and we can still provide for our kids, and they have more time with me, and we have a much less stressed household. So there are some obvious benefits, but as of now, I am still planning to go back to work because I am somewhat driven to work and earn money more than to be a stay-at-home mom. So I struggle with that as well. I like to work more than I like to do the same thing 1,000 times a day and change diapers. So I'm planning to go back to work. I will be there as of after my 3-month maternity leave, but you know, things change. Who knows? We'll see. Another question I got was, for the baby, will you use cloth diapers? And I get this a lot actually, because cloth diapers are a cheaper option. They are more sustainable for the environment. They are better in a lot of ways. But no, we will not. We won't be using those. We'll be using disposable, and I know it costs more and is bad for the earth, and I feel bad sometimes about that. But also, it is what it is. If we had decided the first pregnancy to go with cloth diapers, we obviously would probably do that again, but we didn't, and I'm not going to invest in that for this baby. And also, it's just not something that we want to do. So no, we will not be doing cloth diapers. I do have a lot of friends that did cloth diapers, and they had varying levels of success with it. So I've seen kind of like the best and worst versions of it, and we aren't going to deal with it. So no, we're not using cloth diapers. Another question I got, which I found kind of weird, was more of a statement toward me that said that you shouldn't have medical bills after a baby. And I found that very odd, especially for someone that is based in the US, because a lot of us in the US do have to pay something after childbirth. Last time I paid close to $3,000. This time I'm expecting the same, $2,000 to $3,000. I got an estimate from my doctor for her services for all of pregnancy, and the birth will be almost $200 just for her after insurance. So it is really common, even with insurance, which I obviously have, to still have to pay something out of pocket. If everything goes well and you don't have insurance, it can still cost like $10,000. If you do have insurance, it's probably closer to 2 or 3. Although I've seen some people paying 5 and some people paying like 500. So it's really just dependent on your insurance, and every situation is so different in the US because we all have different insurance plans. So that is why I would have bills after a baby, because I have one option for insurance, and even though it's the best insurance I can get, I will still have bills after the insurance pays for things. Another question was, how is your budgeting going to change? And in general, it's honestly not going to change as much, except for the added care, childcare, daycare expenses. So we will be adding, if we send our baby to daycare, we will be adding probably with that and all of the other stuff, another $600 or $700 to our expenses every single month, which means some of the other things that we've been paying for are going to have to go, or maybe we're going to have to drop contributions on something. It just really depends on how we decide to handle the childcare and work situations. And of course, those are things I go back and forth on every day. So that's why I haven't done any videos about this yet, because we're not decided. I'm not decided. I still am trying to figure it out. We did just get our childcare spot like a week ago, so that kind of does help a little bit, because before that I really had no idea. So now that I know it'll be $100 a week at that particular daycare, it does help a little bit to kind of make the decisions that I need to make going forward. But literally until June, I probably won't know for sure when we don't have that extra childcare expense, but we still do have money coming in because I will be getting paid and still doing YouTube. That actually will be a really good time to kind of think about some of the ongoing things, because it won't change our budget too much during that period. Maybe $100 or so for medical stuff, $150 for formula, And that's about it. There's not a lot of stuff that we don't have, so we don't really have to buy anything this time, and that's gonna help a lot. And we really didn't buy that much last time because we were super, super blessed and had a lot of people give us stuff, including like hand-me-down clothes. And that's happened again. We have gotten a ton of hand-me-downs from all my friends that have boys who are done having kids. So we've gotten a lot of clothes, and like, we just don't have to buy much with this baby. So really the only needs are gonna be like formula and medical, and honestly not even diapers, at least for probably the first month or two, because we've gotten a ton of like the early size diapers already from friends that again are done having kids for now and don't need diapers. So they're like, oh, you're pregnant, here, just please take this out of my house, and I will gladly accept anything people give me. And so I don't have a lot of expenses planned in that first month or two. In addition to that, we actually just finished kind of potty training my daughter, so we're done with diapers and pull-ups for her. So that has removed an expense, whereas we'll just be basically replacing that. So our budget won't change too much in certain ways because we're taking away some expenses and we're adding new ones, but we do have a lot of the stuff we already need. So I'm optimistic that this time nothing will be that crazy. It won't be as big of a shock as it was the first time we added a new family member, but things can definitely change and go crazy. So we'll see. You never know until baby's here and you find out if everything is okay or not. You just don't know. So I will definitely be updating as we go and figure those things out. And of course, we don't have any more debt. So not having debt payments has really opened up a lot of possibilities with how we budget our money and how we move forward with all of the things like having new baby expenses, because we don't have to pay off any debt now. We can live a pretty comfortable life on a relatively low amount that is reasonable, and we don't have to pay $2,000 a month to debt. So that is really helpful, and I am looking forward to seeing how things change and what I decide, because this video is probably going to be like, why is she even doing this video when she doesn't know anything she's going to do? But we'll see what we decide to do with childcare and work and all of that in the future. But for now, I am just kind of feeling it out as we go, trying to plan and then adjust as things happen. So if you have any more questions, leave them down below and I will try to answer them. And I'll definitely be doing some more budgeting for baby videos. If you're expecting a baby and you're feeling really overwhelmed about how to budget for all of this and how to plan it out, especially if it's your first baby, my friend Marissa has a course about budgeting for baby. She is really great at figuring out how to afford things that you want or need for your baby and how to plan out everything. She has kind of worked through all the different steps. So I've gone through her course and I've actually looked through her worksheets and everything, and it looks really awesome. So it is highly recommended if you want to use it. I will leave an affiliate link below, or you can just search for her channel, Marissa Lida. She can help walk you through it a little bit more than necessarily trying to piece together articles on the internet and figure out what things you should be expecting and what stuff costs. Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will try to answer them all. And I will see you in the next video where we go over some numbers and very specific details. And we will go over some specific numbers on what I've already spent on pregnancy stuff and baby expenses, because those have added up. And I will let you know what they all are and what we are expecting for the last couple months of the pregnancy.